part 2 of this episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This one's kind of a weird one as we're watching, because this is the second part of a two-part episode we recorded. So you watched 2 weeks ago, part 1. So if you have not watched part 1, go back and do that right now before we dive into part 2. If you are new here, real quick, welcome. We're the Venture Maidens. We're a D&D actual play 5th edition podcast, not sponsored or affiliated by Wizards of the Coast. This is a fan-based show. This is a very adult-themed stream. You can expect themes of graphic fantasy violence. No particular content warnings for this episode, other than the one that we keep up the general body horror tag. But yeah, we're not going to do a recap or anything. We're just getting the hell in there because it's part 2. So just real quick, let's go around. Hey everybody, my name is Celeste Conowitch, and tonight I will be your Dungeon Master.
Hello, my name is Katie, and I'm playing Luveri Sath, your Drow Rogue.
And I am Sage, and tonight I will be your bard who is ready to get into Bard College, Aoife Flannery.
Finally, it's happening. I'm level 6 or 5, whatever, which one, and I'm finally doing it. Going to college.
Going to college.
My girl's getting her degree.
She's growing up. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, you're certainly at your final test right now before you even have begun. So yes, real quick, we are picking right back up where we ended last time, which was the end of the first night. Lou and Aoife are spending in Phelan. Since Aoife has come now, she was selected her fashion designs for the Student Talent Showcase that is happening in Phelan. So you've been put up in like a swanky, downtown apartment. And you just had your soiree where you met both the dean of the college and, of course, your 3 other students who were also accepted as finalists. And then Lou went across the city and visited Bay, got to talk to Cassie and had a cute date, and got to, catch up on some big questions and stuff. And then that night, that very pleasant night, had been interrupted when Aoife found a wet dagger that had been shoved into the door of the hotel room with literally no other explanation. So that's where we're picking right back up. I think the morning after all of that. So Aoife, I imagine it was probably relatively hard getting back to sleep, but did you manage to recover any hours?
Eventually she does, because she's the kind of person who needs her 10 hours in order to be functional. So she's definitely up for another few hours, but eventually, no matter what, it catches up to her and is able to doze off in a very fitful and stressed out sleep. One, because of the rusted, salty, wet dagger that was stabbed into her door, but also because the pressure that the showcase is happening tomorrow, and this is her first time making a really big public appearance and being in front of people. So she's very nervous and stressed about that. Definitely has work dreams.
yeah, that horrible thing where you show up and like, oh my god, my dress isn't here. Like, it's not here. I didn't make it, like when you like go to turn in your homework and you're like, I never did it. I hate those dreams. They're the worst. Oh, I didn't write that chapter. Oh my god. I never have dreams like that. So, right. And then also 3, too. Does it bug you Lou doesn't come back?
I think knowing that Lou was going off to see Cassie, Aoife was not bothered by it whatsoever. Yeah. She didn't even really expect. It was really a toss-up to her whether or not Lou would show back up, but, she's glad that she's gone.
Yeah, good for her.
She just wanted the bed all to herself anyway.
Oh, yeah. And this is like a king-size bed, so...
Oh my god. She sleeps with a big X, and it's just like living her
and
best
you still
life.
Can't even hit the edges. You could have like 5 of you in this bed.
Your tiny little hooves don't even touch
the bottom. Yeah. Oh god. And you're like, I don't know how they got everything's so soft. The sheets, the pillows. It's just like, it's just pure luxury. And then so Lou also across Phelan, you have a nice breakfast with Cassie. Had a pretty good night together. Did you want to invite her to the showcase this evening?
Yeah, I think over breakfast she would be like, so this is like a huge deal for Aoife. I'm super excited for her, but it's an event. and events, you can sometimes bring a date. And I was wondering if you would be
Oh,
mine,
me? A date with
the
you?
lady.
A
Yes, if
third
you
date with
would.
you, one might even. Well,
Oh,
I suppose I would be free this evening to accompany
that
you.
that's great. I hear that three is a very fortuitous number.
Oh, is it?
Um,
No one. I'm not counting. She like takes a no, yeah, that would be super fun. What should I? Oh God, wait, it's a fashion thing. What? Wait, what do I wear? She like gets suddenly like everyone will care.
I mean, honestly, I
What are
don't
you
know.
wearing?
I'm wearing this. This is all, I mean, I've got like one other dress from 40 years ago in my closet, and I'm not going to be caught dead in that thing. But even if somebody says something, just pretend that you're dressed ironically, is what I'm going with
That's a good
because
fashion. Yeah,
uh,
that's they love that. I think the fashion people.
I've heard that maybe they do, in fact, love irony. I don't know. I don't really give a fuck what they think. I think that you'll be beautiful in anything.
Oh, you're sweet. Ah, you're sweet. Okay, yeah. Well, do I guess I'll get cleaned up and do that. I have some stuff to do around campus today, but I mean, you're welcome to, I don't know, hang out here or do whatever you want. I can give you some great restaurant recommendations if you want.
I will take those. I should probably head back and just check in with Aoife and everything. I didn't really tell her that I wasn't gonna come home, but I didn't know. Things just went really well. So
Yeah, well, ah. Yeah, she kind of makes that noise and is like, yeah, no, it was a good night. I'm really, really glad you came to the city and I got to see you again. And yeah, it's pretty great.
yeah, I would say so. I would say it was amazing. But it can only get better. I I hear. I you
Well,
know
I'm gonna
what?
do my damnedest, so yeah.
Oh no, you're really good at a lot of things, so I'm in trouble. I am going to kiss you now, and I am going to demand that you do actually give me those restaurant
Okay,
recommendations.
I will kiss you back and then I will make a list of said recommendations.
Okay, and then I'll see you later. Do you want to meet me there, or
I guess
what's?
yeah, that's probably easiest. It's what the Royal Theater?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yes.
Ooh,
Okay.
plus it's
Well,
fancy.
yeah. Did you know that you're not supposed to tip people 1 gold each? I found that out.
You've been tipping people 1 gold each? All right. Well, okay, I'm
Listen, I
gonna
can
say
only be
then
smart at so many things.
I'm on a research stipend, so I'm gonna say you're paying for drinks tonight if you can tip everybody 1 gold each.
I would be more than happy to.
All right.
I. Okay, give me that
Yeah,
list.
she
I
kisses
do
your
have to
forehead and
go.
gives you the list and sends you on your way. And as you kind of walk out, you see like stumbling down the way, looking like he's had a really long night. Your friend, Hank. What did I
Harold.
name
I think.
him? Harold. Fuck. Harold. He's like, Miss. Hey.
She turns
Hey.
a bright pink and she's like, "Okay, I will accept a high five and a ride home."
Yeah, he's like, yeah, get in. You want any of this? It's terrible, but great for hangovers. So there's like a sloshy milkshake sound in whatever cup he's holding.
God no, God, get that away from my nose. You
Oh, yeah.
enjoy.
Old Dwarven family recipe. He says, and you can.
Thank you for the free nose hair removal. I
Mm,
appreciate it, Harold.
yeah, yeah, no worries. Oh, this is great. Kids around here are great. I, yeah. All right, where to? Just the same place?
Yeah, same place. Thanks. I'm gonna stare wistfully out this window, so don't mind me.
Yeah.
And she high fives him one more time.
She's like, so, hot date? You seeing a student?
No, she's like a professor-ish.
Oh, smarty pants.
Yeah.
Nice.
It is my kryptonite.
Huh.
That and a high ponytail. She's got both.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice
You know what? I
ponytail.
will talk to you as we drive here. Let me
Yeah,
tell
you know
all
what?
about this.
Yeah, I have a very interesting conversation with Harold as you continue on until you get back to the hotel. And then Aoife, what's the first thing you're doing this morning?
So for the first time in her life, she gets up early because she immediately starts early.
I like the hand gesture for everybody on the podcast. Sage just did hands to the sky.
She gets up, she does some sit-ups. She thinks about what would Tony do, and so she like stretches and does some sit-ups.
Have you ever done a sit-up in your life?
No, not at all.
It hurts. You feel kind of sick, and you don't know why people do this.
One and done.
She does like 5, and she's like, all right, great, moving on.
Yeah, my tummy hurts. All right, cool.
I feel like Aoife's more of a sun salute kind of guy.
Yeah, like a yoga. I can see, yeah, your family was probably really into yoga.
Some goat yoga.
Yeah.
We're great at hiking, though.
Yeah.
That's like our thing we do every holiday, so we go for a hike.
Hiking. Bring like a sick picnic. I imagine your picnic game is strong.
Ooh. I would go hiking for that picnic.
So whimsical. So whimsical,
Yeah.
the Seder culture.
In a
yeah,
meadow
so-
with mountains framing by a lake. You and your 700 relatives all skipping around.
Reunions are a big thing. All right. And then she immediately busts out the hot iron to really curl her hair, does her makeup, has a muffin, like is just a busy little bee just going about her morning rituals and making sure that like as she packs her suitcases of her materials to bring to the theater, like everything is just folded perfectly and takes just absolute care, channels her inner Lou as best she can.
Getting my shit together. So Lou, once you get dropped off, do you just head right on up to the room?
Oh yeah, she's skipping.
Yeah. So you get there and you're skipping, and not even the weird magic box bugs you too much as you get down and you make your way to the door and you see a big ol' fucking wooden chunk that has been taken out of the door, like somebody has stabbed something. You've seen daggers stabbed into stuff enough to know. Looks like a knife was like thrust into this door, and there's like some splinters on the floor, and the rug is a little wet, and it smells like fish.
Yeah, I think from the hallway you just hear like Aoife and like a mad dash to the door, and like as the key fumbles, and then she like busts open. Are you okay? What the fuck? What's with the door? Are you
Like a blueberry
come here.
muffin in
And
your
she's
face.
like
Yeah.
touching
Yeah, curlers in her hair, blueberry muffin in her mouth. And she just immediately leans into her hug and pulls the muffin out of her mouth, and she says, okay, so I'm trying to be really positive and not think about it too much, but then she immediately goes and she points over to the large rusty dagger sitting on top of your stuff, and she says, that was stabbed into the door, and I take it has to do something with what the mayor told us about a dead man's chest and your dead wife. But I can't deal with that right now, but I'm fine. How was your night?
And she like walks over and picks up the boning knife and like looks at it and tries to like see if it's familiar to her, like if this was actually one of hers or what.
Looks like a set you had a really long time ago. And you haven't seen it in a really long while. And was this the set that you gave Jada some of these knives? It's hard to remember.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say I had like a really great night. And that's true. Uh, I feel a little responsible for this, and I'm sorry I wasn't here. That must have been really terrifying.
It's a hell of a calling card, I'll say that.
Yeah. And she just like kind of picks it up and takes one of like the tea towels that she regularly takes with her places and wraps it up.
When
Um,
you hold it, you feel ooky. Something about it, like, it doesn't feel right.
Just going to tuck that away for now because this is your big day, um, and trip, right? Is it? Um, how long do we have before the show?
Oh, I know it's this evening. Uh, she'll like point to pull up the itinerary again and show Lou.
Yeah, so the show is in the evening. Aoife, in like a couple hours, you're due at the theater for your like early, walkthrough and setup. But that shouldn't take the whole day. And then like yeah, the show's like 7 o'clock ish. So if Eva's getting there early, maybe like 6. So you have quite a few hours, Lou.
Yeah. And you just see like Lou like close her eyes and like take a big deep breath in from the mouth and then slowly out the nose. She's like, okay, we're compartmentalizing right now. Um, let's get you something. You need fruit. You can't just eat a muffin for breakfast. And
It's got fruit in it as she's like taking another bite.
It's not the same thing, Aoife. You're lucky I'm not making you eat greens right now. And she like goes through her bag and like takes her little like cooling container and like takes out like various like fruits and like makes a small fruit salad. And she's like, eat this. Let me know if you need anything in particular from me. If not, then I'm gonna go and do some things, and then I'll meet you at the event.
And she very like sassily picks up like a piece of apple out of the fruit salad and pops it in her mouth. And she's like, I bet you had a peach last night. And she just kind of like storms off to go get dressed.
Take a point of inspiration if you don't have one.
Lou silently nods, and she's like, you bet your sweet ass I did. And walks into the bathroom to go clean herself up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes. We get ready for the day.
Hell yeah. So you get ready, and then, so Aoife, obviously you are going to head to the theater, and the dean will show up ahead of time, so Auguste will come, and he has like one of the concierge people to help you, since you do have to move all your garments, and basically most of what you brought is going to be coming with you, I'm assuming.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so you have your extra fabrics, you have all your, God forbid, a button pops off, like, you are fucking prepared. Luckily, you can also summon objects out of thin air as part of your subclass, so you are extremely prepared for this kind of event.
She's cheating!
She's cheating! That's magic! It's the Eldred Empire, they don't give a shit. They're like, if you're not using magic, what are you doing here?
Why are you even here?
What? So he will show up and help all of that. So you are going to be ushered off to the theater. But Lou, I want to hear a little bit about what Lou's plans are for the day, since you have things to take care of.
Yeah, I think that after Aoife leaves, she probably takes back out the knife and goes over and inspects it again to see, like, with a closer look, is there anything that stands out to her, sort of thing. I think that compartmentalized Lou is like, okay, Jada would never do this. So at that point, I'm not so much worried. Is she coming for me because I'm living my life, sort of thing. She's just like, I need to figure out A, what's causing her to act like this, like what has the reins, or B, what creature is fucking with me right now. So I think that she's going to do that, see what she can find out, and kind of take advantage of where she is, and see if she can find out based on what she knows. Okay, seawater, loved one pass, sort of thing. Put together what she knows and see if there's any kind of hints that she can find in tandem with what she learned about. Um, could possibly be withering court, sort of thing. All that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, I will say right off the bat, uh, this is going to be like a thieves' cant sort of thing. Like, it's a pretty clear marker when somebody like comes and puts a dagger in your door. That means something. Like in the roguish community, that means like you're on a list, right? Somebody coming for you. And it's not. It's not like a you dead so much as it is a like a I'm watching you and I want you to know that I know exactly where you are. Is like really the message. That comes. So that's pretty threatening. Just off the bat, you would have recognized like you've left knives like indoors like this.
Me?
Yeah. What? The family uses this practice quite a bit, but a lot of other rogues do too, so that might not mean something specifically. But other than that, yeah, it does definitely look like this dagger has been mistreated and submerged in salt water for a very long time, which of course Jada was lost at sea. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything. If Jada did have this on her body, I mean, all manner of things could have gotten it, potentially. I mean, beyond that, like, other than you kind of spinning your wheels, I don't think you have a lot more information to go on for this. But is there something you would like to do in terms of, like, writing a letter or like doing a flashback or any of the other kind of narrative tools to weigh in here?
I guess.
I can let you think on it too, and we can go.
Oh yeah,
to Eva.
Come back to me, Teach.
Yeah. You've got a lot of tools at your disposal if you do want to reach out and figure out more about this. But you in your room by yourself don't have the resources. Yeah. So then, so Aoife, you are escorted down to the lobby with all of your staff. And you see the other two students, so both Mary and Corey, are waiting there. Mary's, ensemble of like green and orange polka dots has been swapped out for like a cool like yellow jumpsuit thing with like one of those hats that goes down, like the flower petal hats over her head. So she looks great. And then Corey, they are dressed again, just absolute goth queen vibes, total like trench coat and like hair up and like this big like skull like arrangement thing, and a veil over their face. So like
of course
extreme. And they are waiting there with their trunks and everything as well. Just like you, they seem to have their sewer's kits and everything. So as much as Mary talks a big game, there's clearly a little bit of nerves happening there. Genevieve is not there.
Is Genevieve there?
She's not.
Okay.
So she must be coming directly from wherever the heck she is staying. But yeah, Auguste looks around and says, "Well, are we ready, students? It's the first part of a very exciting day."
Yeah, Aoife glances around excitedly and nervously and it's like, as ready as I'll ever be, and like steps forward very confidently with her trunks and everything behind her.
Now that is what I like to hear. All right. And he moves out, and you see there's like a big, double wide carriage already waiting for you all, and attendants throw all your stuff in the back. And it's a very, very short ride, actually, towards the Royal Theater. It's really just because it's in the same district. This is where all the fun nightlife and stuff is. But so within minutes, you are pulling up in front of this just gorgeous, huge building. It looks a lot like an opera house from the outside, just the way it's like big and opulent and lots of statuary of different, Eldrin royalty all over the place, and like fountains, and it's pretty damn impressive as you're walking up here. And you aren't going in through the main doors. There's like a side kind of loading entrance. You can see people moving in and out. They're like moving big set pieces and stuff out of the way. People are hanging like, bucket lights, and just all kinds of people are moving in and out, getting ready for this event that is going to be happening. And so you are led through this like backstage area. So it's something that you would probably, Aoife, have seen definitely before from maybe community theaters or whatever.
Oh, the back of a theater? Yeah. Absolutely.
You were raised in the back of a theater, right? On this side of the curtain. But both Mary and Corey do seem like kind of out of their element, right? As people are like running around and like dodging ropes and, tripping over things in the dark. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I'm used to this. As you wind your way through some narrow like corridors and basically come to like a dressing room sort of alley here. And Auguste says, all right, so each of you have your own rooms for your staging areas. So set your stations, get everything together, and I am going to go greet the models. They will come back here. We can all chat. We can do some early fittings, adjustments, that sort of thing. Anything else that you need? You need some water?
And Aoife is already just like getting busy, like meticulously unpacking, and she just waves them off almost dismissively.
Okay, cute. All right, I'll go get the models. Just yell if you need anything. There's lots of helpful people around here, he's kind of saying, and like striding off as he's pointing. He's like, oh my god, Merryweather, it's so nice to see you, and like walks off in a different direction. Yeah, so it's pretty, they're nice for dressing rooms, they're not like the closet size stuff you've seen before, but they are pretty limited in their scope. And so I don't know if you're feeling the walls boxed in or whatever, and like the empty racks and everything. It's a little intimidating, I think, seeing this space in front of you.
I think she takes a very deep breath and sort of takes a moment to sort of settle her game plan in for the day, and just goes right to work without trying to have a second thought about anything, and just trying to trust her instinct and get into the zone, and is excited to meet the models.
Yeah. So for the models, is this something that Aoife picked out beforehand? Because I imagine the school could have sent you like a portfolio, of different resumes, and then that's who it is. Otherwise, I can have like a group of people that you get to pick from, or...
Yeah, I think I like the idea of having been a catalog of sorts almost.
Right. Yeah, it's like, these are the 20 models that we recommend, student fashion shows, people interested, and you can, pick.
And so there is one individual that jumps out to her as she was, taking an evening to look through and to think about her designs as them coming to life on someone. And she was stricken by a young human woman who has like short cropped black hair and this like very severe bob, and has like sort of almost like dusky skin that like contrasts with her black hair, and like really dark intense eyes. And that was who she was like, oh, she's perfect.
Yeah. What's her name?
Ooh. Oh, I should have thought of one.
Haha, I didn't want to do it. Making you do it.
Oh no, I'm pulling up my name. Her name is Cordelia.
Cordelia. Yeah. So you any particulars about the way you set up your station? Like, do you have a little touch or flourish or something that's so very Aoife?
Ooh, I think no one else would know it, but it is exactly the way her grandmother sets up her sewing station. So it's
Mm-hmm.
only someone who knew their family would recognize the similarities. But there's looking at it, it just seems very ordinary and very organized, though.
Mm-hmm. I think there's like one sweet doily placement like somewhere though. Maybe that's what you lay out your needles on or something so you can see them
Hmm.
better. Cool. So yeah, you get your station all set and you are kind of left standing around, I think, at this point. And you can hear from across the other halls, both the other three students seem to be scurrying and like panicking, I would say a little bit more. None
Hmm.
of them have experience on the road like you, right? They've been college people this whole time, so this practical application seems to be causing them a little intense panic. Yes. The only one you don't hear anything from, I guess, is Genevieve, who you would have seen like at some point in your process. She came in, she came down the hall, like very quietly, wheeling her like trunk, and then kind of slammed the door to her dressing room, and you haven't heard anything else. But both Mary and Corey seem to be struggling with open doors across the hallway.
Yeah, so she's definitely feeling a little smug in herself,
Yeah.
noticing like the sort of like hectic nature that's going on with them. And yeah, so I think she like would first want to meet with Cordelia with her model so she can get her measurements.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then she would use her she would use her performance of creation so that she can summon a mannequin that is exactly her size
Oh
and
shit.
measurements so that she could fit it onto there without making her stand there for like several hours.
Yeah, and so the models do eventually come back. August, leads them in, and so Cordelia shows up. You've seen the painted portrait that was delivered to you, but now there she is, and she's just perfect. And she looks at you and says, "So you are the designer, Aoife? Is that?"
That's me. Pleasure
Uh,
to meet you in person.
it is lovely to meet you. I've never worked with a satyr. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, yeah, that's me. Not too many of us south of the mountains of the basin.
Oh, wonderful. This is what? Oh, these are beautiful. Is these for me? She likes pointing at
Mhm.
the gowns. So you have two gowns, you said, right?
Yes, yeah. So two gowns that are hanging on the racks, and one of them is made out of old paperback novels of covers and pages through the books that are arranged in such a way that it's like this sort of like big, full, like heavy ball gown with all of these layers of pages to make this big full skirt in these like pops of like pulp fiction color. So you see like reds and greens amidst this like sea of black and white scrolling
Mm-hmm.
print. And all these books old books that Tortimer was going to throw away because they were ruined or water
Yeah.
damaged, or he had other copies of, and so she bought them off him and turned them
Mm-hmm.
into this gown.
Yeah, and she looks at it and she kind of gasps when she sees it and like holds out a hand and she's like, "May I?"
And he put like assures her just like so excitably, like, yes.
And she does. She brushes like her hands over it. She says, "C'est magnifique." She whispers, to herself, "Please, whatever you need." And you can tell she is a professional and she has done this before because she, is like there. She's hair back in a bun, ready to go, like
Mhm.
wherever you need her, to be. So, and also like the fact that summon this mannequin that fits and she's like, and just that's delighted. Immediately she's like, I can go. I can. You don't need me to stay.
She's like, oh no, we'll do the final fitting in a few hours, but just so I don't have to make you stand there all day, like, Could you grab me a coffee?
Yes, that's incredible. All right. And she walks out into the hall and gives like a wave to the other models who are, like strapped in and whatever. And like, Corey and Mary are like fussing over them.
They're like, stop, it's like we're like, stop
Yeah.
moving. You're moving too much. Okay, now you're too still. Okay,
Yeah, you hear
okay,
ow,
breathe.
coming from Mary's model, and she's like, "If you could just bend down, if you could just, you're very tall." So they Cordelia seems fucking delighted, and she'll come back with a coffee, and she's like, "I'll give you espresso. This is much better than coffee." you know. So that is going well. And then at some point, Corey will show up in your door and be like, do you happen to have an extra set of fasteners? I seem to have broken my last ones, and you, clears their throat.
And Aoife she just drinks it in and like she's leaning against the
with
table
your espresso.
Like, oh, what did you need? Oh, and she like takes, just in this extravagantly long amount of time to dig through her things, and she'll finally pull out a pair like, oh, will this do?
And Corey's like, yeah, that's perfect. Thank you.
Don't mention it.
And then Mary will like bounce up and appear in the door. Are you like done? You're like actually done?
And Aoife, steps aside and, reveals the dress that's like perfectly fit onto the mannequin.
Wow, that's really impressive. Okay.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess I should get back to it.
Do you need any help? I've got some free time.
And you see so many emotions play over her face because her eyes go wide and she looks so tired and she's like, oh man, that would be great. And then she's like, but no, I shouldn't. This is the competition. And she's like, but I really need the help. She's like, actually, if you don't mind, that would be like really super cool of you. This guy will just not stay still. He won't stay still. She like yells. And there's a very upset looking Eldred man standing in her room. He's like holding a towel like over like a big needle like stab.
Oh no. Oh god, yeah, and Aoife will just whisk in so nonchalantly, and yeah, we'll do everything to like hold things in place as they get pinned and whatever.
And Mary is just like, so I mean, what is this? Is that like being an inventor or something? It just like makes you cool under pressure, or like what is that? Like I just don't understand. Like you're just so like handling it.
She just kind of like whiskered her back. She's like, yeah, well, when you've had to fight for your life and to heal your friends while murderous dolls attacked you, you learn to keep your cool.
And Mary's mouth is just like open at that. And Corey has suddenly appeared in the door. They just keep doing this. And it's like, that is so cool.
Oh my god, it's just like, bing, winning smile.
And then Mary like lowers her voice. She's like, have you heard anything from Genevieve? Like her model went in there and then came right back out.
She seemed very tense today.
Yeah.
I've been kind of curious to maybe look in on her.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, like, I haven't seen that door open at all.
And, she'll wait for her to, like, finish making the last stitch before a piece. And she's like, all right, I'll see what I can find out. And she'll shimmy out of the room over to Genevieve's dressing room and give a knock and be like, hi, it's Aoife, like, checking in on you. I hope you're feeling better today. Like, through the door.
Yeah. You hear a, yeah, I'm fine.
And she'll make the sound of like a few steps walking away, but she's listening at the door
You hear
furiously.
like a like a sigh of relief as you walk away.
And she'll wait at the door, like,
Hmm. Yeah, there's definitely, I mean, sounds of movement. You hear like fabric and, needles, all the stuff you would expect to hear coming from the other side of the door. Um, yeah, but she's keeping it closed, moving around in there. Her model's not in there anymore either, so
hmm.
according to Mary, so I don't know.
After a few minutes, she'll be like, all right. Well,
She's just weird. And Mary's like, she's just weird. She like mouths across the hall. I don't get it. And she looks back at her model like, you can go, by the way. And he's like, oh my God, thank you. And just like heads off. Ugh. Okay, let's bounce back. So, Lou, what was the plan? What's Lou's big, clever idea? I think you spend probably a scary amount of time staring at this dagger on the table
Yes.
before you're like, I am out of my depth here.
So I think that her plan is actually like she needs to like take a step away from the dagger. So she like looks at this list of restaurants that Cassie had given her, and one of them stands out to her as being like this restaurant. Sage.
How dare you, Sage, with the depth puns? I just said words. God damn it! No, it's fine. I love it.
uh, so one of them stands out to her as like this dwarven restaurant, traditional dwarvish foods.
Mhm.
And she has kind of a flashback of this time that she went and visited one of her brothers, Erbrun.
Mhm.
Um, and he is like a very like fancy lad, much fancier than any of the other people that are in the family.
Yeah,
Um,
he's a
and is
wizard. Fancy
yeah,
wizard. Yeah.
he's like a wizard who like slash rogue who focuses in stars and divination and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So she's gonna be like, I don't know if he's in town or what, but I know that he at least has some family friends at this restaurant. So she is going to get herself together and basically be ready to go after this trip, but take herself to this restaurant um, and just kind of like it's not open yet, but do this like knock on the door that like somebody from the family would be familiar with,
Yeah.
and just wait for a response.
Yeah, and as you do, and there's you see like the window, like a shade gets raised as somebody kind of like peers out, a little startled. And you see, yeah, a dwarven woman with like a long, gray, just like gray braids on either side, and she holds up like a finger, like a 1 minute, and then like kind of moves over to the door, and you hear some like deadbolts and stuff. And she opens the door and is like, uh, do I know you?
Yeah, I'm actually Erbrun's sister.
Oh, Oberon. Oh, he hasn't been around in forever, but I remember the knock. Come in. You in trouble?
Not yet, maybe.
Oh.
uh, but I was hoping. I don't know if you guys have any family who has any kind of connections to security for this hotel I'm staying at,
Hmm.
um, or if you know anybody who could maybe keep watch. Tonight, I got a little calling card
Oh.
in our door, and I'm
Oh.
concerned about my friend who's staying with me. So just want to find out what I can, if I can, and if not, try to get some added security
Uh,
at the event.
you don't know who knifed your door?
God, I wish I did. I would. pay them the same courtesy.
You got the knife?
I do. What's fun is that it's mine from 10 years ago.
Oh shit, you really got knifed in the door. uh all right. Well, Urban has a bunch of friends around here. Those occult shops and stuff. Pretty sure he had a guy you could go to, do a little woo, and she does wiggle fingers. If you want some answers on that, I think that's the best lead I got. Otherwise, yeah, we can certainly have someone watch the hotel for you. Friend of the family is a friend of the family.
Thank you. I would appreciate that. Yeah, I'll send a message back and let you know if it's necessary or what. I'll take that address though and follow up there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, actually, if you head down the way there, and there's a whole bunch of weird shops around there. I think there's something like the Rose and the Raven, or one of those fucking places. You'll tell by the smell. It smells like incense. Yeah.
Lou rolls her eyes. She's like, "Ugh, I hate magic." Okay.
Mm.
Thank you for the advice. I really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah. No, hey, you look like, and like, there's like she reaches behind a deli counter and then like shoves like a giant, big, all meaty, like pocket stuffed like hand pie thing full of just potatoes and like Dwarven just excellence. And like shoves it in your hand. It's steaming hot. Like just came out of the oven for opening. And she's like, "Take that with you."
And she's just like laughs and she's like kind of hot potatoing it. She's like, "Thanks, Auntie." And
Hey, take care, huh? Keep
yeah,
that knife out of your heart.
I'll do my best. I'll let Ma know I stopped by.
Be good to see her. Tell her to come up to my city sometime.
We'll see. You know who she is. She likes home.
Yeah, I'll bet. She laughs fondly.
Yeah, and she will head down, taking a big fucking bite of this delicious.
Damn,
ham
it's so good. This is exactly what you need before a whole day of mining. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, those carbs. So
I
good.
am fucking fortified and ready to go.
Mm. Yeah, and you can clearly follow her directions. You come to like one of those, because you're not in the greatest part of town. What do you have noticed from Cassie's recommendations? She seems to really like dive bars, like deli type thing, the places that are open very late. She seems to enjoy, not the fancy establishments. Holes in the walls are seem to be her favorite. So you're not in the best part of town already.
Sure.
So you just kind of wind your way and you come to this like very narrow alley that has a ton of these shops that are really just like those, storm doors that you open up and close. So there's like baskets of stuff all over the place and it's very chaotic, and there's like, hanging tapestries like shading the streets as people are moving by, sorting through, mushroom baskets and like chatting with one another, and people in weird costumes singing in languages that you're not sure are real languages, etc. You can wander your way there, and a smell hits you as you,
My delicate nose.
yeah, as you approach a place that has it's a sign that doesn't have any words, but it has a picture of like a raven holding a rose in its mouth.
Hey, there it is.
Hey.
She's like at this point like licking her fingers because she's finished that fucking
So
ham
good.
pie.
Oh my god, so good. Yeah.
And she will go through the door and giving it the same knock as she enters, as she did with the other.
Yeah, you do. And this place is like hung with tapestries and scarves and stuff, multicolored patterns. So the minute you step in, it feels very like nestled, almost like you're inside a tent. And there's like a counter, a very low, well, not a counter, it's like a low table on one side. And sitting like kind of squatted behind it is a person who you can't see much of their face because they've got like a big like purple robe on with like embroidered silver stars all over it. And they're like kind of, as you step in, you see they come to attention, and like you can just see the lower half of their face, and they go, "Ah, traveler, have you come to have your fortune read?"
Not, I mean, the time I've been having. You know what? First, let me, if you could actually look at an object for me and divine where it came from, and who maybe left it.
Hmm.
Um, that would be super great. And then after that, I've got a date later. So you know what? Fuck, sure.
Hmm. You wish me to read an object. Is this an object from a lover?
I assume that it's one of my knives that I gave to my past fiance a really long time ago. Um,
And you have had a fight, this fiance, and you.
well, here's the fun thing, ma'am. She has been lost at sea for 10 years. So you can see how I would be concerned and having a really fucking bad morning.
Oh, and there's like kind of a pause, and then this person, like kind of pushes up the hood, and she's like, "Oh shit! So you have like a real problem then? Do you want like the real magic?"
Oh my God, thank you. Okay. And she like sits
Sorry,
down.
that's like the tourist thing, That's
I
nobody
I
wants that real fucking magic.
I did the knock. I thought you knew. I was like, oh, okay. But here, yes, please, real. She like waves her fingers at like
All
the
right.
door. And
Oh, it's gonna cost you.
oh, well, you know what? I apparently don't know the worth of money. So, what's the price?
Yeah, let's see. What a little divination. She pulls open a tab book. She looks at the material cost of that spell, and then, because I'm pretty sure it's a 4th level spell. Here we
Right.
go. Yeah. Yep. Offering you to. Okay. Yeah, worth at least 25 gold pieces. All right, cool.
Okay.
All right.
I got that.
So, we can do. So she's like, all right, we can do some simple divination, which in this, you would be able to ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity. Or you can do. Let's see, I'm looking at the divination spell list. Hang on. There we go. Yeah, maybe we could do she said that will cost you quite a bit. Otherwise, no, not identify. That doesn't work. She's flipping through her list.
She's got like a little menu, like a sales
Yeah.
menu of
Let's see.
prices.
What is clairvoyance? What does that do? You create nope. That's an invisible sensor. She's like, you don't want that. Yeah. I mean, I could do a locate creature. That's something I could do for you if you know who the dagger is from. Yeah, that's those are my that's what I got for you.
Okay. I mean, I would hate to be wrong about who left it and then get nothing for my money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I guess
But
I
either
mean,
way, if you
there's
can locate
mhm.
Jada,
yeah, but they'd already tried divination and stuff like that when she
Mm.
first went missing. So unless, I mean, I don't the unfortunately the warning that we got too like didn't specify when she'd like come out of the water. So I don't know. It could be recent and now I can. I don't know. Fuck. Didn't think this far ahead.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you. I maybe it's been a while since I've done some big magic. I got some slots in me. So she kind of cracks her back. She's like, "How about I could do 3 questions for you at a discounted rate. Let's say 200 gold pieces."
I thought that you said that it was going to be 25 for one question.
Well, it's so much effort. No, and it's just 25 for the base its, components, and then I have to make a little off the top. I have a family. I have a family to think of. And then also,
Insight check.
Yeah, okay.
15.
She is not telling you the truth.
Lou like slams her
sales
hand down on the
tactic.
table, and she's like, "Listen, lady, I appreciate what you're doing for me, but you and I both know that you do not have a family that's starving without this money. Okay?
Okay. Well, hey. If I'm looking up something about a dead person who's maybe not dead, what do you think that does for me? That puts me in danger. So it's the danger crossed that I'm considering here, lady. You want me to ask questions about your stupid dagger or not? I can assure you, nobody else around here has the kind of power that I'm packing. See the future and shit.
Where's your credentials? How do I know that's true?
She waves her hands in front of you the way you did before.
Ugh, my lord. Okay.
I'm not part of the family. I'm just the best.
Do I know who this woman is?
No, you have no idea. Though, I mean, if she works routinely with the family, that doesn't necessarily mean she's part of it. She's just like the go-to contractor, right? Somebody who can be quiet for money and will do what they want, and in that kind of mercenary trust,
Who's like, fine, I'll pay this back to the girls. And she takes out the money and puts it on the table, and she's like, okay.
All right, just 3 questions. And, the simpler they are, the better. I generally find, because I might just get a 1-word thing or an image, right? So pick carefully.
Oh, God. Okay. First one, just to get it done with, was it Jada or some form of Jada who left this dagger in the door?
And she, has the dagger out on her table. And she, takes a meditation pose and kind of closes her eyes. And then breathes in and out for a really long time. And then waves her hands over it and begins to say something in a language you don't know. And the tips of her fingers start to glow with a golden light, and you see her eyes suddenly open up with that same golden light. She hovers over it, and she says, yes.
Well, that wasn't the answer I wanted. Okay. Was this dagger left to send a message to Aoife or me?
And she waves her hands again. To you.
Okay. Where can I find Jada now?
And she waves her hands again. And the answer doesn't come as quickly as it did before. She kind of waves her hands a second time, like a second pass. She is moving close, but watching from the shadows. You will not find her. She will find you. And and she kind of coughs and puts her head down and blinks and just oh, God, that sucks. Money, please.
She gives her the 200 gold, and she's
Thank
you. Thank you for that ominous.
Yeah. You want your knife back? Or you want me to throw
interaction.
this away? This looks like garbage.
It can still be used. Somebody can clean that up and still use it. Let's not throw away perfectly good utensils, okay?
All right, up to you. Good luck with all that.
Thanks.
For what it's worth,
yeah,
that felt very malevolent. So, yeah, that's
I got that from the knife in the door.
hey man, I'm just saying.
I'm sorry. I'm not mad at you. I mean, you could be less abrasive of a person. I'm not going to lie
I
to
don't
you,
give a
but
fuck. I got 200 gold
I
pieces. I can do whatever I want.
I know. You know
She
what?
clinks
Fuck
the
all that
bag.
fucking fun. I gotta go. I gotta go. I don't even know
Have
what
a
I gotta
nice
do, but
day.
you too. Oh, my date night's not gonna go how I planned. She sings as she goes out the
Oh
door.
no, I'm in trouble. Um, all right, kids. Anything else we want to do during the day before we fast forward to the fashion show?
Yeah, she just sends kind of a telegram to the people at the restaurant, and she was just like, I mean, if you want to have that didn't go well, so if you want to have added security there, uh, that would be great.
Yeah, they
My friend is the little satyr. Please protect her at all costs.
yeah, so they say they will put somebody on the hotel to watch and make sure, nobody fucks with gets in your room, basically, without you knowing.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Aoife,
Interesting.
yeah. Anything you want to do before showtime?
I think after she does all of her work to prepare both of her dresses and does the final fittings onto the model, she just looks for every opportunity to try to get a glimpse of Genevieve and what she's up to.
Mm-hmm.
Because she has just a bad, weird feeling about her that something is not quite right.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like every time a door opens in the hallway, she like pokes her head out to see who it is,
Like,
nonchalantly.
yeah. How long do you want to stay on that?
Let's say probably she'd probably spend about half the day before
Yeah.
she would go and like try and like check in with Lou.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're, kind of dragging your feet, hanging around. You help, both Mary and Corey eventually wrap up, and they're at the point where they're, about to head off. They're like, "We're gonna head out and like go get some like food and stuff before everything starts. Do you want to come with?"
And Aoife, she's like, "Nah, I think I'm just going to try and get a walk around the space and tidy up some things and uh you just go ahead without me." And she just like waves them off.
Okay. Well, then I guess we'll see you in a bit. And Mary's like, and does, thumbs up. And they head off. And so, you go back and hanging out for a little bit. You're like, oh God, there's nothing left to do. When finally you hear like a click. And then, you see Genevieve like rushes past your door, like kind of, holding her bag. Looks like maybe she's headed out for the night.
Eva will get it like a count to 5, and then we'll pack up her stuff and then head out after her, and we'll do her best to try and tail her.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and make me a stealth check.
God, this is gonna be so bad. Oh,
Clip clop, clip clop, clip clop.
Come on, interlude, let's go.
Channel the rogue. 4 bards in a rogue. Channel it.
Thankfully, she is naturally pretty dexterous, so let's see. That was stealth. That's a 16.
Okay. All right. Then Genevieve does not notice you as you follow her. She leaves the theater and kind of like she seems to stand around for a little bit, like she doesn't know quite what to do with herself. And then she like finds, it looks like, the closest like little sandwich shop or whatever, and she goes inside and just like gets a sandwich and kind of sits by herself, like in a corner, uh, starting to eat her, like, it's basically like Subway. She basically like went to Subway and she's just like eating sad, lonely Subway in the corner across from the theater.
Just looking at her, like Ipa would post up, like, across the narrow street at a coffee shop and sort of just kind of observe her behavior. And she recalls that, like, the night previous, she was, like, really nervous and almost kind of jumpy. And so, like, reading her body language as she's eating her sad Subway, I guess she would want to do, like, an insight check to be like, is she giving off similar vibes? Is this stress? Where is this?
Yeah, why are you like this? Yeah, make this insight check.
God, that's hot garbage. That's a 7.
Yeah, you're like, God, she's just so sad. Like, you don't really. I mean, there's really nothing threatening or strange that you see about her. She's just like, sort of weird, like doing this by herself. And then, she like finishes her sandwich and then she just like goes right back into the theater. I guess just wait for a couple more hours until the show.
And seeing her like as she like walks, back down the street and back to the
you can see her shoulders are slumped. It's not the gait of like a confident or nervous or happy person to be in the situation. It's just sort of sad.
And she tries to put it out of her mind, and she'll head back to the hotel so that she can get dressed in her get her evening look ready.
Yeah.
And see if Lou's there or anything, and take a few hours to rest and get relaxed and everything for the evening show.
Yeah.
And then we'll look to grab some lunch, take in the sights. She'll find a nice park in the city and sit down with her lunch and just kind of people watch for a few hours.
Yeah. Yeah, and eventually I think, Lou, you probably come back and rendezvous eventually, yeah. Yeah. So you all can meet up.
Yeah, she just kind of is like walking. I assume like the park you pick is like close to the hotel. So I think she probably sees you just like sitting there feeding the birds or whatever the fuck you do at a park. And you just hear a big flump as she just like sits down next to you with a very tired look in her eyes.
And Aoife finishes taking a bite, and she'll like offer you from like her bag of chips that she has, and she'll say, "Is everything okay?"
So, as I've been walking back, I've had a large internal debate on the answer to this question. I knew you would ask me. For your safety, I've decided to let you know. Not really. I went to a divination shop and had them look at this knife that was left. And they did, in fact, tell me that it was some iteration of Jada. And when I was like, okay, where can I find her? The answer was, she'll find me. And my concern is that the woman that I was in love with wouldn't have stabbed my door with a knife. So I don't know what kind of mental states or what sort of perversion has come across her. So I'm a bit concerned. The good news for you is that I also asked if the knife was for you or for me, and good news, it's for me. So you'll probably be fine. But I don't know. It's really weird that this happened here at this event. So it's possible, knowing my luck, that some shit's gonna go down regarding or during your show, which really makes me fucking sad because you've worked so hard And I really just did not want my bullshit to have any bearing in that. So here we are. That's what's going on. Yes, I did have a beer on the way back. This is our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts? Questions? Concerns?
The whole time, Aoife is just kind of nodding along occasionally, just sort of looking down and kind of picking apart and eating her food. Like, not, not someone who's like really hungry, but who's just kind of eating because there's nothing else to do with your hands. And she seems very quiet and kind of forlorn. And she thinks, and eventually she says, after you say, thoughts? She says, I mean, it's not your fault. I certainly don't blame you. You know, this space that we've had to learn to occupy and the things that we've had to learn to deal with are not the kind of things that other people ever even dream of dealing with. And I don't know, after all this time, and this is the first time that I've really felt like I've had time to be a normal person with normal dreams. And I'm here in this big stage where I get to show off things to the public for the first time. And, the other two people, they were so impressed that I was so cool under pressure. And, like, I had to show off a bit, because we've seen and done some things and have fought with and for each other. And I'm excited, but I don't know. It seems kind of empty. It doesn't feel the way I thought it would feel to get here. And obviously I'll do whatever I can to help you to figure out what's going on with Jada. I mean, maybe we can make some kind of contact in the Withering Court to figure out how this is all connected with Hecate. But and she looks at Lou really earnestly and has a look of lost in her eyes. She says, maybe this isn't the path I'm supposed to be on. I feel like I'm at a fork in the road, and on one direction there's one thing, and off to the right there's something completely different.
Well, I personally see you at that fork, and I will support you whichever path you want to take because you'll be brilliant whatever you decide to do. I feel like the matronly part of me would really like for you to stay here and do the thing where the dangers are pricking your finger with a pin. But I can't even express to you how much I would miss you because let's be honest, you already know you're kind of my rock in a fucking chicken house.
Those other two assholes, we got nothing. Two
but
bros,
whatever you
yeah.
I will do whatever I can to support you 100%. I think that for now, since we don't really have too much that we can go on, and apparently she's going to make her entrance. I don't even want to call her Jada because she would not do this to me. all I can do is be ready to defend you and your dream from anything. So think about you first, and I will do everything I can to hold down the rest. I just wanted you to know so that you weren't in danger from being caught off guard by something.
She kind of sucks in and chews on her bottom lip a bit. She says, well, I appreciate the warning at least. And who knows? I hear the Tsarina's gonna be at this thing. Maybe we can valiantly rescue her and she'll like give us a bunch of money or something. Who knows?
Lou's ears like perk up and she like slaps you twice. She's like, the Serena? Your girl?
She immediately like pushes everything off of her mind and goes right into regular Aoife gossip mode and is like, oh my god, so this other girl who I'm working with who is kind of whatever, I'm not really sure what to make of her. She comes from a rich family, couldn't be me, told me this.
Well, Lou reaches onto Aoife's lap and like takes a bite of whatever she's eating and is just munching as she tells her.
Gets all the hot goss of what's going on. Hell yeah. That was a very nice scene. Lou, take a point of inspiration if you don't already have one too. I know I just gave Aoife one for the peach pun, but you should both have inspiration now. That was very lovely. Yeah, so we fast forward not too terribly long to the beginning of this event. And so you see, as night falls, the theater transforms right into this amazing venue. There's music, there's lighting, there's all kinds of people waiting, a red carpet event to like get in here. You are seeing Eldrin nobility up the wazoo, like people that maybe like Lou you've recognized just by notoriety. Like these people are the ones who cause problems for people the family helps, right? So some of these faces, right, as they're coming out. You're seeing your celebs lining up here, and it's starting to get very real, Aoife, I think, as you are in your dressing room here, and Cordelia is of course like talking with the other models, and they're all like in hair and makeup, getting those final touches ready, and of course Mary and Corey are just running around like do they have everything? Do they not? They keep like coming to your door. I mean, like, do you have everything? Are you fine? Oh my god,
Yeah,
are you freaking out? I'm freaking out.
I think eventually, it comes to, the stroke before midnight as as that those pre-show jitters start to boil up within her, and she's just kind of like vibrating everywhere she goes, just
yeah, the energy. Yes. So sort of the way this works is because the student showcase isn't the entirety of the event. It's going to be like kind of the first act right before like the couture like pro models like start coming out. So it's going to be a long evening. So you all are kind of the opening show, right? So it's going to be you all, and then we're going to move into the rest of the evening. So you all have like seats in the audience. So obviously you're going to be back here, like in case there are any issues like during your sets. But once your models are through, there'll be a small break and you can go. So you have like your box, that's set up. It's like a place of honor. You're all going to have like your little champagne delivered to you and snacks, and you're in a box, right? So which is usually for like Eldrin royalty, so it's gonna be fucking fancy. So Lou, if you want, you can hang out backstage with Aoife, or you can go right to the box. Either way to hang out. And then yeah, so basically people are just gonna be let in now and kind of milling around in that big open lobby area where there are like waiters and snacks and drinks that are being poured out here. So where are you going, Lou, in all of this?
I think that she will kind of hang back for as long as she can, just kind of keeping close. And then as like it gets to be, like 15 minutes before the show, she'll go meet Cassie.
Yeah. Yeah. And Cassie shows up and she is wearing like a white suit, like a very cool suit. She's like, I think it will match with yours. She's like a little pink flower on her lapel. She's like, I figured this hey, you look gorgeous.
Why are you so good? She
Good?
like
Okay,
boops her
good. She's
nose.
like, you had me scared there. Wow, this is like really a big deal. Is Aoife like nervous? I would be so nervous.
You know she's not, because she's the most impressive
A total pro.
mortal. Oh my
Yeah.
god, I'm telling you, she's gonna be like Lulu in like 30 years. Oh god, I'm old. Okay.
It's okay, me too.
Yay, old ladies. Okay, that's not something to cheer about.
Okay, yeah, you're getting carried away. Here, take my arm. She'll offer you
Yes.
an arm.
Yep, I've had a day, so just stay close, hang out. We can talk about it later.
Okay. Yeah, whatever you need. I'm just happy to see you.
And she'll lean in and give her a kiss and squeeze her hand and be like, Day 3.
Day 3. And she's like, waiter, gets you a glass, and it's like, to us.
Yes. And Luke clinks and then just kind of does like this stupid like double agent thing, or like whatever, where she like pretend drinks and kind of like puts a little bit like out in the plant behind her, because she's like, I cannot be drunk right
Ready
now.
to fight. Yeah. Yeah, and you can like make your way up to the boxes, and Cassie's like, oh shit, this is like really nice.
Anything for you, babe? Yeah, no, this is not me at all. This is all Aoife.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I get her a thank you card or something.
Living the high life.
I'm a star. Whereas you're like sweating, backstage in the cramped, like making sure everything's good to go.
Like just throwing up in the back from nervousness.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's fine. Let's do this. And so you are in the midst of your final preparations, Aoife, and you get like a 15 minutes. People are like screaming backstage, and everybody's like running around. And then Auguste pops up and says, Hey, Aoife, I've got a surprise for you. 2 people who say they're your parents are here. I know it's against policy, but if you want them to come back here, I can totally bring them back here for you.
Well, she definitely does that sort of like little bit of a gag reflex, and she covers her mouth very politely, and she says, "Sure," in a very breathy voice. "Send them back.
I'm fine. No
I'm
pressure."
totally okay."
And Auguste is like, sweetheart, I can tell them no.
No. I just haven't seen them in a few years. And it's a little nerve-wracking. She's not like her every sentence she say, her voice gets half a step higher until it's basically inaudible.
Yeah, Cordelia puts a hand out. She's like, sweetheart, we cannot hear you.
She takes a deep breath and she says, no, just send them back. It's all right. I'll be fine.
Okay. Auguste is like, perfect, because I actually already let them back here. So, oh my god, Aoife's parents! Like steps out of the way, and we see 2 satyrs on the other side of the door. Do you want to describe what your parents look like for us?
Yeah, so her mother, Rosalind, is a short and like muscular woman. Like imagine an Olympic gymnast with like very lithe but tight and defined muscles on her. So she's clearly some kind of an acrobat. Does her acts are always on like the trapeze or walking the high wire, or just very intense acrobatic feats of just impressiveness. And her dad is a little bit younger, a little bit taller, and he's very sort of lanky and gangly compared to her. And he's very goofy. He wears like a green plaid vest and this like tan colored shirt and, wide hip slacks, and, always has a different instrument strapped to him every single day. And, a very, very goofy, toothy grin, and the two of them, come back, and her mom Rosalind and her dad Kieran. Her mom is definitely a little bit more serious and down to business, and he's very much the fun dad.
Fun dad. I'm just also gonna say, audience, I apologize. I cannot do an Irish accent to save my life, so you're not getting one. I'm sorry. They're theater people. That's my explanation.
No,
of why
I was thinking about it. I was
don't
thinking
have
about it
one.
earlier. I was like, they probably don't have an accent
They
because
probably
they
be very light because they have to perform.
yeah, they have to perform. They also, being a part of the Checkered Follies, have
Spy
to
work.
blend in.
Yes, so they don't
So,
have yes, markers.
recognizable voices. So for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Great. We all came to the same conclusion for logical
Yay.
narrative reasons.
It would have been so weird if they had Irish accents. Thank God.
Right?
We're not doing it.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad we're all on the same page. But anyway, your dad, I think, is the first one immediately after, Auguste, goes out of the way and just showboats. Your dad is just, on you, hugging you. He's like, Aoife! Aoife, it is so good to see you. Oh my God, look at you.
And she is holding back tears as best she can, but she just immediately goes in for the biggest hug and is just squealing with delight.
Yeah, and your mom comes in and they scoop you from both sides. That's the family hug. That's how you do it in the Flannery family. It's just
Double scoop.
A whole pile. Cordelia kind of excuses herself and she's like, "Oh, this is a beautiful family moment. Cigarette." And she goes, away. And yeah, your dad kind of holds you back out and he's like, it is so good to see you and congratulations on all of this. We always knew, didn't we? He looks over and your mom is like, we did since the minute you started picking up scraps and turning them into cozies and everything. And look, here you are.
And she is just absolutely just a radiant smile beaming with delight. And she says, I'm so glad you could come. I'm so happy you're here. And unfortunately, Tony's not here, but you'll get to meet my other friend, Lou. And she's just is completely speechless.
Your mom looks at you and just goes in and hugs you again, and you realize you're a little bit taller than your mom, which you never have been before, and that's just kind of a weird, one of those weird moments when you don't see your parents for a while. You're like, Mom.
He has to stoop down a little bit to give the hug, and the feeling of that being a new sensation, and every happy memory and family hug, it's just rushing back to her, and she just looks at both of them, and she quickly wipes a quick tear from her eye, and she says, "All right, well, go get your seats. We're starting soon, and we'll talk after everything, and we'll catch up." And she just, is so happy.
Yeah, and your mom is like, break a leg. You don't need it. I'm sure you're gonna be wonderful. And she, kind of nods and waits out in the hall for a second. And your dad does, he's smiling and then sort of very quietly looks at you and says, "Unfortunately, we're not just here for social reasons, kid. We're keeping an eye out in case anything goes wrong tonight. Jess asked us to be here."
And she kind of cocks her head a little bit because she's never really known what her parents do. She knows that they're performers. She knows that they travel and perform, but she
probably works for chess, yeah, but not really know.
She doesn't know what that means.
Yeah.
It's never been talked about, and she shakes it out of her head and thinking about everything with Lou and everything that's going on, and she says, "Well, my friend Lou had a call-in card in the form of a dagger and a door," and she'll kind of point up through the curtain up to their box. "If you ask her, she's much more knowledgeable about the situation and could maybe tell you what to look out for. But," she kind of looks lost for words and isn't sure what to say at all. And she's like, I'd just go talk to her. Drow, white hair, pink ends, wearing pink.
Um, is this friend have anything to do with the Corellans? That's why we're here.
She has this kind of suspicious look on her face because she hasn't heard anything about Cassie in that regard. She says, well, her date might have been associated with the Corellans, but we're not sure on that.
Okay. I'll have your mom keep an eye on her. It's just last time there was an event like this, the preliminaries a few weeks ago, a Krellin went missing from this theater, from an event just like this.
She motions with her theater where she is standing. This theater?
Yeah. So we're just keeping an eye out, looking for any indication of what happened. Okay, so please focus on this. Your art is so important, and I'm so sorry this has to be on you, but I would hate myself if anything happened to you. Just keep an eye out, okay?
She kind of chews on the knuckle of her first finger a little bit, and she says, "Okay, yeah, I gotta go get changed. I'll see you later."
Okay, you're gonna do so great. You're amazing. I always knew it. He says, and then hums something as he walks away because he's never not humming something. And he pops his head back into her side. He's like, "I love you."
Love you more. She trills back at him.
Okay, we'll go wait in our seats. Can't wait to see it. And he, disappears down the hall. Bum bum bum! Showtime! There's in the lobby the lights, blink down, letting everybody know it's time to take your seats. And so Lou, you and Cassie are sitting up in the box. Cassie is getting champagne drunk, having a great time. You are keep killing a plant. I assume. If Cassie notices, she's not saying anything about it. But eventually you do see a satyr couple that kind of comes in and scoots by you, and a very tall, handsome satyr man kind of leans over and says, "Are you the Lou we've been hearing so much about?"
And Lou kind of breaks away from her little conversation with Cassie, and she reaches her hands out to both of them. She's like, "You guys must be Mr. and Mrs. Flannery."
"Yes, I'm Kieran." And the female satyr says, "Rosalind." You can call me Roz, though. We're just so thrilled to hear that Aoife has found such wonderful friends and then is also in this show. This is just incredible. We always knew of any of our children that she was going to be the one who just found it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, how could she not? I haven't even known her that long, and you can just see that she's just oozing talent from every pore of her body. And that heart, you guys did something right.
Yeah.
Kieran
laughs and says, "She's a force of nature, just like her mother." And he kind of gooses, Rosalind, grabs her knee, and she's like, "Ooh," ooh. They're teenagers. You can tell they just love each other so fucking much. It's ridiculous. Kind of gross.
It warms Lou's heart.
Yeah,
no, she loves
Cassie
it.
is just so cute. She's like, "I'm Cassie," She leans over. She's like, "Do you want more? I brought a bottle." And they're like, "Yeah."
And Lou's just nervously sits between them, "Oh God, I did not expect people to get this drunk this fast."
It's a party. They're gonna be looking at clothes. Of course you have to get wasted. What else is there to do? I don't know. I've never been to a fashion show. I have no idea. But this is a theater show.
Eat tiny hors d'oeuvres and get wine drunk. What better way to spend the evening?
Yeah, that's a fantastic fucking evening. My favorite things to do. And so with that, the show begins. So Aoife, what is it like for you in this process? You're each sending out, obviously, one of your models. So there's 4 of you. They come out and then go back, and you have to immediately dress them in the next thing. So it's the quick change and stuff. So narrate for me what is going on. at the beginning of the show here.
So I think the other three students probably have their models go out first, with, you know, Aoife being the wild card, having her model go out last. And so they're all waiting in a line basically backstage with their outfits on mannequins and, you know, everything ready, with these little like other assistants there to help to like rip things off and put things on and everything. And so as the models, you know, file out, and you know, we can hear the applause coming from the other side of the curtain. Exactly.
Yeah. Smoke. I don't know.
And as the air becomes heavy with smoke and, you know, and with the heat, as people have been sitting in here and getting warm and drinking and everything, and we're just in the back, like almost like a race car changing its tires, like, pull this off, put this wig on, smear this makeup on.
Yes. And what is the first outfit you send Cordelia out in? Is it the book pages or the other outfit?
So the first outfit is the other outfit, which is a dress that she wears. So the model, she wears a white satin slip underneath, and on top of that is this shift dress, you know, like a flapper sort of shift dress that's sort of loose and like rectangular on the body. But it's made out of this sort of crochet of like white, heavy sort of fabric, and like tied with knots around the clappers out of bells. So the things that make the bells, like, you know, chime and jingle, are like all tied together with this white fabric. And so the neckline of the dress comes up to this sort of keyhole neckline, where you see this almost sort of gray black sort of emanate out from it, looking very, and it's very reminiscent of the sort of cloud giant that they had pulled the bell out of its neck. And she's wearing this like black sort of smoky wig on top that looks like smoke emanating from the top of her head. So it's very, very cloud-like and ephemeral feeling. And as the model walks down the runway and walks back in that first dress, you can hear this eerie sort of whistle happen in the air that resonates through the space.
Cool. And there's like as, you know, Cordelia steps out, and there's the, you know, you're watching her like the seconds before you can see the audience's faces, because of course the prime seats are right there on the stage, right? So while the boxes are nice, they're not primo seating, right? So you are seeing like these Eldrin nobility on all these sides, like watching, and their eyes go wide, you know, as she steps out, and they're, you know, watching her walk down the way. And it's very quiet. For a minute, you're like, oh no, what does it mean? And then she gets to the end here, and, you know, does her like turn, and everyone's like, like the you know, the claps around, and people are like muttering and looking at each other and like nodding, and like, this is the shit. People are seeming to really love this. And you see too now for the first time, like looking out in the panic, hustle and bustle, you didn't even like look at the audience until this point. But at the far end of the runway, like right in front of it, is a kind of a raised platform that has like a throne seat on it. And you see on either side there are some, you know, Eldrin who are dressed in like really nice fancy clothes. But in the center, in that chair, you see the Tsarina. And she is sitting there. She is dressed in like a dress that looks like liquid gold that is just like pouring down her body, with this like cool headdress thing with like a beak on one side, and at her feet is this like gigantic fucking white tiger just like hanging out. And you're like, and she's smiling at the dress that you made. It's just a little curl, but even from here you can see it, and you feel so fucking validated as you watch it.
And she immediately grabs Corey and Mary in like by the shoulder and pulls them in and points towards through the flap of curtain that's open to this glimpse of this magnificent woman, and she's like, "Oh my god, you were right."
And Corey is like, "She loves it. Oh my god. You're gonna be famous." And she like looks at you, and Mary is just like, oh my god, oh my god, soft like whimper of noises.
Oh my god.
And so like that whole fucking moment, you're like, whoo, and like, you know, you see Cordelia, perfect walk as she comes back. And immediately you snap to action, right?
It's like,
you're
time speeds up again,
Yeah.
and it's like all throwing things off, and then like throwing this paper dress onto her.
You're like, holy
Swap
shit.
out the wig, slap on some mascara, make the eyes run.
Yeah. And you see at this point, obviously, like all your other friends have been like, the students are like doing the same thing as you. And like in this flurry, you know, as you finally like you get Cordelia into the dress and it's about to like go to the next round, and you see, you know, Corey's model is going out, and Mary's is getting ready, and then you look, and Genevieve's and her model are not there. You don't know where they went.
And she just looks around real quick and looks to see if she can see any trace of where they went off to, like follow if there are any sequins or, you know, bits on the ground leading them off.
Yeah, I mean, you hear, so you're kind of in like the staging area, like in your dressing room hall or something. You do hear like something banging around in like the dressing room, in her dressing room, but nobody, she's not like standing in the hall or ready to go or like out, which is just, it's all just a little weird in the middle of all of this. And as you're taking note and kind of focusing on the dressing room, you see the model, like the door opens to the dressing room and the model steps out, and she looks around almost like confused, and then kind of like sees you looking at her, and then straightens her shoulders and starts like walking past you to take her place in line.
I would like to do an insight check on this individual.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully better than last time. Oh, significantly better. 23.
Yeah. As she like passes you, there is an unmistakable weirdness that passes over you, and that's like all you can even describe it as. But like there's something about this and her that does not feel right at all to you, and the way she looks at you, like that flat stare, feels very inhuman.
And I feel like it's almost this like slow motion exchange of glances as she's, you know, catches her eyes and really studies her and just feels like the hackles stand up on the back of her neck. And without even thinking, she cannot even stop herself. She reaches out her hand and grabs her wrist to prevent her from stepping out onto the stage. And she looks at her hand like, what am I doing?
Yeah, and like as she was walking, right, you feel yourself dragged by the strength of the stride. Whatever this thing is, like drags, and like the model stops. You know, after you've scooted like a solid 6 inches that she didn't mean to, and she looks at you, unblinking, and you realize she hasn't blinked this entire time, and says, "I recommend you let go."
She squares up her shoulders and she looks her dead in the eyes and she says, I'm not gonna let you do that.
And the model smiles in a way that's just too wide and just not quite like how mouths should work. And she says, listen, little thing, I am not here for you. So I really think you should go back into your room. And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me. This is a charm effect.
Ooh.
If that matters.
Let me double check.
You are being suggested.
Nice. That is an 18.
And so she says, go back into your room. And like you're like, and she looks at you and she's like kind of cracks her neck. Well then, I guess this is about to get interesting. And you see at this point too, like already, you know, Mary's model is like out on the stage and coming back, and Corey's is like just about to go out, and yours is like waiting in line, like, should I go?
Eva's motioning with one hand, like, walk out there.
Go! Get out there! She's like, okay. And she, you know, starts like stepping out onto the floor as you have this moment. And the woman in front of you starts to come undone. As you see, like, her skin transforms into, it looks like these tiny little, like, blue lines, almost like thread, like, wrapping up onto her body here. And you see, like, all the light that comes out in between as she's looking at you. And this creature that is woman-shaped in front of you here now kind of floats a little bit off the floor. And you begin to hear in all of this moment, like a quiet sobbing that is coming from the dressing room behind you. Let's roll some fucking initiative.
Oh, yeah.
Bam, 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 bam.
I'm gonna roll real quick and then roll real quick and then pee because
I'm too excited. I know we're running a little long, but it's very exciting. So yes, I also have to pee. So, okay, everybody roll. We'll take a short little 5. How about that?
Okay.
Okay.
21 for Eva.
Holy shit. You're such a pro. You're too, honestly.
Ready.
Yeah. I hope Aoife's sentiments before, I was like, Aoife, I think, is too good for fashion now. She's just like fucking owning it. How are we doing, Lou? Nervous Lou in the box?
6.
Oh, good.
Oh, it's great. We got it. We got this.
Woo! Sorry, something in my throat.
All right, so we are back in now. All right, so you see, Aoife, this being unraveling in front of you. Clearly, the human model who was before you is not so human anymore, as they are taking shape, and the garment that they're wearing just basically becomes shredded into pieces until this like floating thing. It almost looks mummified, the way that like the fabric and the threads are wrapping around it, but you can see this like blue light that is shining through as it kind of raises itself off the floor. And you hear screaming that starts to come from like Mary and Corey, who just like, what's going on? And started to turn around in the middle of this and see this thing floating in the middle of this very narrow hallway. And again, you're hearing like that sobbing sound coming from Genevieve's closed door behind you. And so I think it is safe to say that Aoife, you are going to be the one who gets to go first here, as all of this is happening, and all the people outside are still like clapping and enjoying the show, as right now your model is on stage. And God, I just want to say, she's fucking killing it. Everyone looks amazed, but Aoife's not there to see it.
Yeah, as she hears this applause, and it builds her confidence, and she lets go of the hand of this creature, and she knows that she's not going to be able to detain this thing from whatever it's going to try to do, but at the very least she can try and put a target on it. So as she reaches out and into her pockets, and she throws a couple of her like bobbins up as she casts dancing lights. So I needed to make a dexterity saving throw, DC 15.
Ooh, okay. It is not that fast, so that is a fail out of 14.
Hell yes. So it becomes outlined in this lavender light.
Sorry, was this fairy fire?
Fairy fire.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it gets outlined in this lavender light as these bobbins sort of dance around it. And so any creature has advantage on attack rolls against it. And yeah, and it also cannot benefit from being invisible
Yeah, so you like cast it in, in this light interacts with its weird kind of inner glowing light in like a sickening way that casts it. And it now when it speaks, it's almost like there's an echo to its voice, as it says, fool, and it blinks out of existence. You can no longer see it. But all of you sitting up in a box, all of a sudden you are watching, this creature, or sorry, not this creature, this model, this gorgeous model, Cordelia, in this fantastic fucking gown that Eva has made, is now like doing the final turn on the catwalk, so you can see, the layered pages and just how awesome this found material like dress looks. And you can even see the Sarna scoots forward in her chair and is actually like clapping and very clearly smiling. And you can see attendants on either side of her are like, oh shit, and like lean forward, clapping and doing everything they can, like as she is like approving this. And then all of a sudden there's like a gasp that happens as this creature appears, like floating above this runway here. This blue figure of these like mummified wrapped threads like floating in midair, and the whole theater hears this voice saying, Empire pigs, you shall suffer as my people have suffered. And there starts to be like a choking gasp of voices from around the room, screams that very quickly turn to gasp as like you can all feel it too, like your clothes around you start to like shrink, so it's like the threads are pulling tighter and tighter as all of these people are like being suffocated by what they are wearing. Fashion slays. So Lou, you are clearly starting to feel that effect, and everybody around you in the box as well, as just like literally what you are wearing is like suffocating you. Shrink wrap. So that's my lair action.
I don't remember putting on Spanx this morning.
I hate this. Holy shit. So Lou, we actually come to you now, as your own clothes are starting to fucking kill you.
Cool.
And there's this big floating, glowing woman thing on the stage down below you. Yeah.
Is there anything that I can like do to fight back my clothes, or am I about to get like naked? Is this happening?
You sure could cut them off of you. That seems to be like the.
Okay.
You will note it's not your armor. So actually, it probably sucks for you, but like your leather armor isn't doing anything, but that dress that's stitched over you is tightening over your armor, which is underneath. And you're seeing like Cassie, who's just straight up in a suit, is just like, oh my god, like it is killing. So it seems to be affecting only like woven materials.
Okay. Sorry, Aoife. Lou will go ahead and she, in both of her boots, has a knife, and she'll go and just like slice down the front of her garments.
Cassie is on the floor, like she's like hot.
And her bonus. Focus. We're not getting flustered by that. She, as her bonus action, she's going to go ahead with the other one offhand, like slice down Cassie as well.
All right, cool. And she's like, all right, like out of the suit. She's got basically like her like cool bandeau and undies. She's like, all right.
You look great. And then she's going to I don't know how far down the balcony, like the
so
ground
you're
of the
not
balcony.
super far. I would say it's maybe like a 20-foot drop to like the base floor. The real problem is between you and the stage, there are like all those people who are seated there. So you've got like a 20-foot drop down, and then about, I don't know, 30 feet worth of like people that are choking on the ground to get through before you can get to the stage.
Yeah. So she's going to like, I assume there's like a curtain or something
Oh yeah,
by it. So she's going to go,
tapestries, banisters. Oh yeah, whatever you
yeah.
need.
She's gonna grab onto that, and as she's kind of like letting herself slide down it, she'll take her boots and push off the side of the balcony to kind of give herself distance as well as going down, to try to get as far into that group as she can.
Yeah. Before you go, Kiernan, so Aoife's dad, who's like struggling right now to like get out of a tie, is like, and he like kind of grabs your ankle, and he's like, "Go for it!" And he's like, "Take this!" And he like taps. He does like a little tap, and you see there's like a little felt. Let's see, what would he have? He can't do Lucky Charms, so he has maybe, are they like musical instrument shapes, like a little
They're
felt
little
guitar?
they're little music notes.
Music notes. Yeah. He's like, gee, it's a good note. And throws it towards you.
Take a quarter note.
Geez, my bra size, thanks. No.
Keep the beat. So
uh,
you get bardic inspiration. A D8.
like, I think that too is that happens too. Like her, as she's like descending down, her eyes go wide because she's like, "Fuck! I didn't cut her fucking parents."
Cassie's like, I got it.
And yeah, that'll be my turn. How far do I get? Like, how
I
far
think
am I when I land from the
you're
thing?
using your whole ass action to do that. So I think with a dash, you could probably get towards like the edge of the stage there. So you're leaping over fools and stuff. And
Okay, so you're giving me a dash, even though I cut myself and Cassie loose.
yeah,
Okay,
that's
I just
cool.
want to be sure.
It's
I don't
more
want
cool.
to take advantage.
You're
Yeah,
being cool
all
as
right.
shit. I'm gonna let you be cool. Like, so you can get to this stage edge, and of course at this time too, people like, you know, as they're like choking and dying, are still trying to like work themselves towards the Tsarina, who's sitting, by the way, right there at the front of the fucking stage, like in front of this floating, glowing woman. So yeah, so you can get like right by where the Tsarina is.
Cool. She'll just give a nod of the head and be like, "Your Majesty," and then like take a fight stance.
And the Tsarina still looks cool as a cucumber. She is like, like you see, she's already got to be in like a killer corset, and it's just not getting any fucking better. Yeah. So Your Majesty, she nods at you. Then we are gonna go right back up to Aoife. So nobody backstage was affected by this lair action, so you have free reign. What are you doing? Oh, are you muted?
Oh, muted.
Oops, there
This
we go.
is too extreme. Don't be muted. Tell me what
What
you're
are we doing?
I
It's
wanna
very
know.
tense.
So she is going to run out onto the stage, and she wants to run and get in front, get in front of this creature, and so between the creature and this arena, and then she wants to, she'll, run, slide underneath it as it's floating up above, pop up, and then she'll stamp her little foot, her little hoof as hard as she has ever stamped it, as she casts a third level thunder wave to push it back and away from this arena.
Oh hell yeah! Oh hell yeah! It's a con check for me or
Con
something.
save, so
Okay, yeah, con.
DC 15 con save.
But bam! Oh God. No. I'm made of cloth. I'm a floating cloth ghost. So.
So as as these lights outline it, and then she stamps her foot down, and just this whoosh as the sound wave breaks and pushes this cloth material back towards the curtain, as it is going to take 4d8s of damage and get pushed back 10 feet.
It's nice upcasting. That's nice.
Oh, yeah, 6, 8, or 6, 12, 18, 20, 24 thunder damage.
That is not insignificant. So you are up on the stage and you're hearing like the gasps and choking. So you don't know exactly what happened, but clearly she did something to the whole room as people are like falling around you. And so you blast her backwards and it's like she was punched by a big phantom fist, right? As she like is scooted backwards. And as you stamp to, you feel like a touch like on the back of your ankle behind you as you see like Cordelia, who was out on the stage at that moment, is like there in your dress, like trying to. She's actually fine because your dress is made of paper. She's like totally fine, but she's like scooting behind you just to let you like like hero.
Well, 100%. And she will look up to, let's see. Her eyes will immediately scan up to the box, up to the audience, and she will look at her mom and she'll bestow her with bardic inspiration.
Yeah, and you look at your mom and like from even across, time and space, the theater, there she gives you like a little wink. She's like choking on her, own clothes. Your parents seem to know what's up though. They're like, okay, this is normal, like as they're just unbuttoning and like struggling, whereas other people are like, I'm dying, people in powdered wigs rolling on the ground like, oh my god, my couture like full body suit is like killing me. So all right, hell yeah,
And that is her turn.
cool. All right, so I'm gonna put my parents in here real quick. Cannon and Ross. Right. And then I will put Cassie in here too. All right, sick. 4 bards and a rogue. 4 bards and a rogue. We're gonna make it through. Everybody's inspired. Wonderful. So it's my turn. Oh, my turn. And oh, Aoife, you're just so in the way.
I am. Isn't it great?
Oh, you're so in the way. As she whips out, one of her hands, and you see one of these ribbons that kind of makes up her body like thread, a whip comes down towards you as she is clearly intending to wrap you up. Wrap this up so she can take care of business. Wow, 26 to hit.
As a reaction, she's going to cast Silvery Barbs as she whips up her hand and the silvery needle appears in the air and tries to cut through the thread that whips out towards her.
So then let's roll 20. So that was that. So let me reroll. Okay, that is significantly less, but 16?
Ah, that'll still hit.
Gets a +9 to hit. It was close. It was close though. Good call. So that whips out towards you, and it's advantage on the next attack against her, right?
So she'll give the advantage to Lou. So Lou will have advantage on her next attack.
But she's also still fairy fired, so would be double advantage. But okay. So, very cool. So here's what happens to you. That's... Ooh. That's a lot of damage. All right, here we go.
It's fine. This is fine. Thanks for fruit salad, Lou. I love you.
Thanks for all the fish. 10, 13.
Ooh, some locks. That would have been good.
21.
That would have gotten you the full 10. I just know it.
So that is 29 points of force damage. As she wraps these cutting threads around your body, and they're like almost like wire, right? Like being wrapped around you. That's how it's like compressing into your skin and just causing you to like bleed significantally. How are you doing?
She is still alive. But it's definitely as these like almost blue steel cables just wrap in and continue to press and constrict around her, and she just can't even fight it, but lets out this gasp, but it squeezes in tighter, but she is just trying to think of everything that she is standing for in this moment and is like, I bet I look really great doing it.
I look so fucking good as I'm dying
so
on
heroic.
stage. So here's a fun thing. So I will say this is a Kobold Press monster, and it is very weird and cool. So I'm gonna use a 1-a-day ability called Sealed Destiny. So since I have hit you, Aoife, your fate is now entwined with this creature. So I need the player to Aoife's left to write down their prediction of how the PC will die and when. So you, Katie, tell me, Lou, when do you think Aoife will die? And how soon? What's your prediction?
What? Okay. Like this is like die, not unconscious, right?
Yeah, this is die.
Okay.
And this is Lou doesn't know, but like this is what Lou would think. Like when in the darkest thoughts, right? When you look at someone, you'd be like, "Oh shit, I don't think they're gonna survive this or
Yeah.
whatever." What is it?
I think it in Lou's worry mind, she probably thinks in like 3 turns.
Okay.
But not if I could help it.
Okay. All right. Your fate is set. Okay. And then we move on to Kiernan. So your dad up in the booth. I guess y'all don't know what's happening anymore, but there's a ripping terror in the coming from down below, and you hear like a chord of a lute from up above. And I think he's gonna go ahead and play the counter spell song thingy that gives you advantage.
Counter charm.
Counter charm on some bullshit. And he's like, "This one's for my daughter!" and yells it out. It is playing beautiful, beautiful music that's gonna give you advantage on shit. And then we're gonna jump. And then Roz, yes, is also like, yeah, cutting herself out of this. And then she is going to follow what Lou did. And basically she flips very elegantly down and is up at your side, Lou, like before you've gotten to move. And she's like, she's nude and she's ready to go. She's like, doesn't give a fuck, like as she's standing by you. Gives you a little, yeah, up. But anyway, that's her.
And so powerful.
Yeah. So powerful. You're like,
Moms.
God damn. Yeah, the mom energy, like, my baby, coming off of her. Holy shit. So, Lou, we come to you.
Yeah, so she is just going to like let out like a feral scream as she's going to run out at this thing with her cold iron dagger and go to make a slice into it.
Woo!
With advantage.
Advantage. Double advantage.
Yes. And that's good.
Which is just normal advantage, but still pretty cool.
I'll fucking take it. All right, that's going to be a 22 to hit.
Holy shit, yeah, dude. What the fuck? You guys are monsters. Love it.
We're not the monsters here, actually.
Listen. We're just here to party and this much.
And then that's 2. That's 10 plus 3, 13 plus 4, 17 points of piercing damage.
With the silver dagger.
The cold iron, yeah.
Yeah, cold iron. Yes. Yeah, so that's all chopping and you're like cutting, stabbing into this weird, because she has like a shape, but it's almost ephemeral, right? And it's but so it's like stabbing into weird invisible jelly. It's very strange, but you are absolutely doing damage as this is happening. Ooh. Anything else for you? So and you're climbed up on the stage now, right? So it's you and Aoife basically on the catwalk,
Yeah.
fighting this thing hovering in midair. And literally like 1,000 people are watching you do this. Just FYI.
Cool. My modeling debut.
Oh no.
um, anyway, let's save my friend. I'm going to go ahead and do a bonus action stab. And I will. I'll just use my normal guy. See how that goes. To see if it does the same amount of damage or if it doesn't do as much. That's 15 plus 4, 19.
Okay. Your normal dagger does full damage. This thing does not appear to be a fey creature.
Okay. I mean, that's just a fucking D4, but 2!
Ooh, okay. Well, it goes through and it lands, which is odd. But not super odd. You have seen a few creatures now that ally themselves with the courts and aren't necessarily fey. But this individual did say my people, and fuck you, Eldrin Empire. Interesting. If they don't align with the fey, who the fuck do they align with? I don't know. Anything else for you, Lou?
Nope, that's all I can do.
All right. Then my lair action. So all of these suffocating people on the ground, their day gets much, much worse as you see flashes of like golden light just start appearing all over the place and screams of pain as you see clothes throughout this room are set on fire. As people are literally like being burned to death now by their own clothing that they can't get off. So it is becoming a fucking absolute nightmare scenario at this moment as people are just writhing on the ground and it's bad. You start to see though too like guards are starting to run into the room, so it looks like you can recognize the Eldrin military are starting to come in, and they are like trying to drag people out, cutting them out of clothes, doing the best they can to like help these people. And you can see behind you the Tsarina has already you see she snapped her fingers now, and she has like now disappeared and moved back about 30 feet, is standing in the middle of the crowd completely nude, like her dress like left behind her already, and like this tiger has like bounded back, and they're kind of like circling up here. She's still wearing her like gold ass very cool headdress, so she looks kind of like one of those fucking, you know, goddesses, priestess ladies, as she's like standing there now, and you see guards are starting to swarm to her and like lead her out of the space here. So clearly you have interrupted the plans, and she is making her escape. All right, Cassie. So Cassie is cool. She is free at this point. She is going to she gonna play this card? Yeah. All right. She's gonna she is climbing down at this point, and you see she like says something, and a harp appears in her hand. Like a beautiful strung lyre. The one you probably think was in a box, as she goes, and she starts to pluck at it. But that is all she is doing for this turn. But there it is. And then Aoife, we come to you.
So I imagine around the circumference of the room there are like statues of patrons of the arts, or like notable Eldrin, knights or whatever. And so as Aoife is wound up in this, blue thread that is constricting her like this blue thread snake, she turns to one of these statues that are in the back of the room, and she just manages to wriggle one hand free through this blue thread coils that are constricted around her. And this lavender arcane light begins to illuminate around one of them, and as she uses her bard feature, her animating dance, so she chooses a large thing a large object, a
Cool.
large non-magical object within the room, and it becomes this dancing object with a stat block and everything.
Hell
So,
yes. Pick the
Fuck.
statue. You tell me what statue you want to animate, because it's here, of course, in this like opulent opera house. Yeah, fuck yeah.
hell yeah. So I imagine it is like this statue of this Eldrin man on top of a rearing horse
Hell
that suddenly you
yes.
see the legs of the horse begin to kick, and as it begins to gallop towards this thread creature, and
Yes.
as the rider on top of the horse stabs forward with this lance, and as she uses her bonus action to command it to attack, it goes right after her on initiative count. And so as it goes through its turn, it tries to stab through with this like arcane lance.
Giant fuck you lands. This large creature. I fucking love this. This is cool as shit.
So that is a 17 to hit.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah, let's fucking go. So it is going to do 10 force damage as it jabs its lance through.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, this floating woman, with this stone lance through her chest, she looks around you. She doesn't have a face, so it's hard to tell, but she kind of looks to the left, looks to the right, sees you all, sees the Tsarina getting away, and kind of rolls her head in a way that indicates, like, fuck. You may have stopped me this day, but I shall return. Your fate is sealed, little one. And she, like, bursts into ribbons that kind of fall down onto the floor around you. And the bursting, like, radiance of all of these people it consumed, like, stops all of a sudden. So all the flashing, like, spark lights, but there are people still groaning and, like, weeping on the ground. Just, like, these burns across their body. And the guards start filtering in left and right, and it's absolute chaos. As I think your parents are, like, you know, they've all climbed down, and Cassie, like, coming to the stage, like, what's going on? Like, is it gone?
And Aoife looks around, unsure, and she says, I think we're safe. For now.
Well, and your dad looks like, I mean, that thing just disappeared. It appeared before. It could come back again, right? And, like, Cassie kind of reaches out to you and says, if a fae was able to get here, it had to have a portal or a source. We need to find what that is, and we need to destroy it now. Otherwise, it can come back.
And, you know, looking around, kind of frantic, and it's like, all right, at least we know what to look for in that regard. And we'll, you know, take off with Lou, trying to look for any source of a portal.
Okay.
Was there anything suspect that you saw back here? Everything looked fucking normal out there.
Everything looked fine back from here. I noticed one of the designers was acting a little weird, and we'll immediately start beelining it towards Genevieve's dressing room.
And as you do, and people are just, like, backstage, absolute panic. Like, luckily, your parents and, like, Cassie they're bards, so they're doing a really great job of being like, everybody calm down, listen to me, get into lines. This is, like, fucking all what they excel at, right? Like, crowd control. So they're, like, handling it, which is allowing you both to, like, run back this way. And as you come back through the hall, like, people just looking at you glassy-eyed, like, what the fuck just happened? You still, that low, like, that choking crying sound, like, comes from that closed door, that dressing room door, as you get in front of it.
Yeah, she immediately reaches for the knob and tries to turn it to see if it'll open.
I mean, it is locked, but, like, Lou, you immediately hear the flimsy ass lock of just, like, a A
She
second.
immediately
Yeah.
immediately just takes out her hairpin and she's just like
Bam! Yeah, that crap, you don't even have to roll. That's just a shitty lock. And as you throw that open, you see, one of these dressing room spaces in front of you, and Genevieve is just at like her head in her hands, like on the table. And as she comes in, she like looks at you with red eyes, and the smell is the first thing that hits you. And you see what is in the corner of a room. It's a mannequin that has been set up here, but it looks like what it's wearing appears to be flesh that has been like stitched together almost to form like a suit of a person
That's horrifying.
hanging on the body. And she looks at you and it's just almost catatonic as her head goes down on the desk.
Lou will reach into her bag of holding and grab her canister of oil and throw it on the mannequin and quickly take her tinder and just spark it on fire.
Yeah, and you do, and Genevieve makes no move to stop you. As this is happening, she doesn't even like start to leave or anything. As like the flame like obviously consumes this thing. You can smell the dead flesh that this suit has been clearly made of. She's just sitting there in the chair.
Do you know this girl, Eva? What the
Aoife looks at Genevieve like, is this why you were feeling sick last night?
I'm sorry, she made me do it. I couldn't. I had to. She's just like whimpering, not looking at you.
Aoife just kind of sneers at her and storms out and immediately heads towards the Tsarina to check to see, are you all right? Is everyone okay?
Hey, girl.
Let's take stock.
Yeah, so you stride the hell out of there, leaving, Genevieve to whatever the fuck her issue.
Yeah, Lou is just like, not aggressively, because I don't think she's gonna fight back, but just like wrapping her hands and like binding her.
Yeah, she doesn't fight you, but yeah, you can absolutely bind her and make sure she stays here until some fucking authority figure deals with this, because clearly she did some shit. So you can bind her, and Aoife, you make your way out there, and you see, yeah, Cassie and your parents have been very effectively like handling the situation. Most people are now like waiting. That you can see there are like medical people have been called in, and emergency response is going well. And you can see kind of at the front of it all, in this lobby space now, the Tsarina, who's wrapped now in it looks like a curtain, somehow, but she looks amazing. Even though it's a red velvet curtain somebody like tore down, from a banister, she still looks like a fucking goddess standing there, in the center, like barking orders towards people moving back and forth. Do you want to approach her?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is just
Get
like in absolute awe of this woman.
Yeah, and so you move towards her, and like there's a halberd spear in your face before you know anything of what's happening as you get close to her, as one of these Eldrin guards kind of levels it at you, and you hear a, no, you. What is your name? As the Tsarina looks at you with these like blue piercing eyes.
And she holds up her hand and says, my name is Aoife Flannery. I'm not the cause of this disturbance, but I just wanted to come and check to see if you're all right and if there's anything I can do to assist you.
Do you know the nature of that creature, what it was?
I believe it was some kind of servant or something summoned in order to do ill, perhaps as a result of a fey bargain. I know, at least I believe I know the culprit who is behind being responsible for that creature. But there's something more dangerous behind it. And I think we have some information as to what could allow such a creature into this plane.
You see her take a deep, considering, calming breath. All right. Aoife, Flannery, I think you and I should speak further. But I will say thank you for what you have done.
And she'll take a knee to the ground, hand still up, head bowed, and will say, I would be most honored to have a conversation with you. The people who I travel with, my companions and I, have learned quite a bit about some, well, not quite the nature of some plots, but at least some catalysts that I believe deserve your attention.
And she like holds out a hand to you. She's clutching the curtain around herself at one point and says, "No, come here. Don't kneel." And she like lifts up your elbow, kind of brings you really close to her. And she like looks into your eyes like she's looking for something.
Yeah, Aoife lifts her chin willingly and just opens up her eyes, her soul, everything to this woman in front of her.
Well, you shall receive a messenger to meet me very soon. But for now, I must leave. I pardon my state of undress. She kind of says and smiles at you.
And Aoife nods and says, believe me, Sarina, it is I who beg your pardon. She curtsies and backs away a step to let her pass.
If one thing, she like looks back over her shoulder. If that dress is not entirely ruined, I would very much like to wear it.
I'll send a messenger to take your lady's measurements, and it shall be yours. As she tries to say in the most level and steady-headed tone that she can muster.
Wonderful. And she nods at the guards who just know what she's thinking without seeing, and she is kind of escorted out. And in the hustle and bustle, of course, you know, you get to rendezvous with your parents and Cassie, and everyone comes back together, and the night is a mess, but a beautiful mess in a lot of ways for your group. And it is very safe to say that, Aoife, you have absolutely achieved Tier 2 of your heroic destiny, celebrity. Yes. Not only getting your exploit shown in front of a huge crowd of people, but getting the recognition of someone very famous. So you will be advancing to Tier 2. Hell yeah. After this, yes! But yeah, but for now, that is where we're going to leave the episode, everybody. So that is it. Holy shit, look what you all did. Oh my god. No more below the radar anymore, kids.
Full radar.
I don't even know how we're going to explain this to Tony and Rook when they get back.
So what did you get up to? We just impressed Zarina and saved her butt and whatever, it's fine.
And, you know, Cassie like, maybe don't tell everyone everything. Oh, no, well, here we go. We'll see. This is going to be very interesting. I don't know. It's going to be cool. So, hell yeah. Hell yeah, kids. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us for this episode, this extra long, spicy part 2, part 1 episode. You all have been great. Thank you so much for being here. Damn, that was so good. It's still spinning. Okay. Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you again for being here. Thank you to all of you who subscribe. Like, if you are watching this on YouTube or Twitch, please do make sure to like, subscribe. It makes a huge difference to people finding the show. If you are listening to this, please give us those solid stars, a rating and review on your podcatcher app of choice. It really does make a world of difference to us. In terms of news, Nassim is currently not here to join us, but I do want to say, please, if you have not done so already, educate yourself about the situation that is happening in Iran right now. There is a revolution going on for people's rights in general, and a lot of really important stuff is happening, and the Iranian government is facing a lot of stuff, media blackouts, and some really horrible shit is going on. So please look at chat right now. Nufti.org is a great website where you can go and find scripts to get your U.S. government involved in helping the effort there that is ongoing. So please check that link, sign the petition. They actually have an email that you can just copy paste into your browser. Do it. Fight for people's rights, and it is very, very fucking important. So go check out that link. Click it now. If you are listening, that is going to be in the podcast show notes app, so you can click and head to find out more. Before we go as well, we always like to take some time to thank our patrons. So Patreon is a really awesome website where you, viewers, listeners, engagers like you, can go and support the creators that you love. So you can head over to patreon.com/venturemaidens and throw us some cash. You can do it either monthly or a one-time thing for the year. And in exchange, beyond being a really great person and a person who supports arts and recognizes we make a bunch of stuff for you for free, you can also get sweet rewards like cool extra bonus content and episodes and coloring book pages and some really killer shit by our great friend Drop the Die JB, who makes just really cool I loved the latest one that he did. So it was oh my god, Sage, tell them, it's so good.
Oh yeah, so if you have listened to this campaign at all and you're familiar with The Witch's Brew, it is a detailing about Tandy's little spot, The Witch's Brew, about Tandy, about the establishment, the history of it, some people who work there, and a full fleshed out menu of drinks and food that you can order while you're at The Witch's Brew. So if you would like your own party, your own campaign to come and visit this wonderful establishment and get a little piece of Venture Maiden's history, you get to read all about this very cool location.
Yeah, and you could just put it into your games. Put it in there. We would love to hear. And if you are using this content, by the way, Patreon donors, let us know. We love hearing your stories. So hop into the Discord and tell us, or just post cat photos, whatevs. But we specifically want to take the time to thank our top tier donors on Patreon. So let's go around. For Arnie's cohorts, I want to say a big thank you to Debbie.
Thank you, Curry.
Thank you, Muffin at the one on Drury Lane, who, by the way, was our first ever Arnie's cohort patron.
Oh, you beautiful Muffin! I also want to say, I still, Muffin to this day, you sent me in the mail little tiny muffins that I use for inspiration whenever I play in person. I still use those. Thank you. Everybody loves being a good muffin. And also, a huge thank you so much to Nissa McKinnon.
And also thank you to our Farrah's drinking mate tier. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you so much to one of our wonderful mods in our Discord, Markali.
And thank you so much, Fable.
Thank you, Tony.
And thank you, Sheepish Gnome.
Yes, and then thank you to Ben, aka Flower Crown Gaming, our wiki master, our morale leader. You're wonderful. Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, for listening to the show, for watching, engaging. You all fucking rock. I have been your Dungeon Master, Celeste Godowich.
I'm Katie, and I played the very Seth, your Drow Rogue.
And I have been your totally badass bard,
Fuck yeah.
Eva Flannery.
Oh my god, so fucking famous! You guys are so famous! It was almost famous before this, but now it's really fucking famous. I cannot wait to see how this goes in the future. But until then, everybody, venture!